Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. We present every single year, and every year the question gets sharper. And this year, the question is really around how the acceleration of AI can be used by leaders in order to create intelligence without designing people out. And we will try to give a perspective from where we sit, which is around industrial imaging, and give you some perspective around how this is evolving going forward. So the first thing is a question, and it's a question which is a hard one that is faced by leadership today. More than ever before, manufacturing leadership is extremely demanding. A survey indicated that more than 50% of the CEOs are hesitant to act. Half of them are unsure on which things to pick up. And when you think about that, and when you reflect on that particular element around where they are spending time, it comes into three different areas. Number one is, despite of cost pressures, a lot of CEOs are thinking about expanding their portfolio, expansion into the growth. Secondly, it comes around technology. When you think about technology, up to last year, this number was around 25%, which has increased itself to 35%, thanks to AI, thanks to a lot of spend around technology. And finally, 19% of them spend time around human resources, building the resiliency in the labor workforce. Yet, they are challenged that a lot of organizations don't really know what would be that resilient workforce look like. My presentation here today will revolve around these three different elements. The first one is around growth, technology, and people, and I'll summarize towards the end of the presentation on these three particular elements. But let's start with what is happening in manufacturing. There are three very distinctive forces that are changing the world of automation as we see. The first one is around automation being autonomous. The second one really around the value that is shifting, and finally around the human one. So this one sentence, this one quote summarizes it very, very well, which is around the future of manufacturing. And it really revolves around a factory understanding the needs, adapting to that particular needs, and delivering actions in the moment. And when you think about this from an autonomous standpoint, automation is all about repeatability. How do we get things repeatable? We can do it fast, we can do it efficiently. Autonomous takes it to next level where it is not just repeating, but it is deciding. And one may think, what is the technology stack that makes something like this possible? And this is the new AI models that we are looking at. It is around vision, language, and actions. And what this really does, it allows robots, for the last 30 years, for example, in automation today, robots does one thing very well. They do things which they are instructed to do. They do things which they are meant to do, and they do it extremely, extremely well. Now, for the first time, we have the ability for machines to perceive and then to act on that perception. And that's what VLA models are all about, which is what you see with a very simple language and the action that gets driven by that. Now, when we think about, again, the world around the automation, one of the fundamental questions that arises is around what you see. And there is a lot of hype around humanoids that we have seen around here, a lot of hype around automation. But what we are talking about a robot that can count in the morning, inspect in the afternoon, and then be able to restock in the evening. And central to all of this is vision. Vision that makes it really possible to provide intelligent data in order for it to see it. There was another very interesting research that got published earlier in the year by Baines. And what it talks about is where the value in automation is getting created. When you think about the conventional model, which is a pyramid, the value was created at the very bottom. And it was created by sensing technologies. Sensing technologies, whether they are cameras, whether they are sensors, whether they're actuators, in order to build information. But the values were orchestrated at the very top of the pyramid. Today, we are living in a stack where every layer matters a lot. And it is changing to what we call an hourglass model. And what that means is the value is created at the very bottom through sensing technologies, and the value is orchestrated at the very top, which is the AI workflow, the ability to make decisions. Now let's hold the thought up because I will come back to where Teledyne plays in this hourglass, but everything in the middle will continue to get squeezed. One of the research indicates 80% of the profit in industrial automation will come through these two layers. At the very bottom, providing intelligent data point, and at the very top, which is around the AI workforce. Over the next 5 years, this will open up a market by itself for $70 billion. So it is quite attractive from that particular perspective. But what is the most important behind this entire hype is none of this possible without a good quality data. These models are completely dependent on the information that you get feed into it. And that information becomes absolutely central to everything that you're doing. Now, you can have a great architecture, but if you don't have the right data, and if you don't have right imaging information, you get a chance where in production, on the floor, things just doesn't work out the way you expect it to be. And therefore, it is very important when you see from the breadth of this particular information, vision becomes the most critical element that really allows you to build wholly functional robots that can do multitask and not a singular task that they have been doing in the past. Finally, the third and the last shift is around human capital. And this quote summarizes it really well. As we rise up to the challenge, it is how do we take humans along in this particular journey? Automation is not about replacing humans. It is putting humans to what they do the best, which is critical thinking, ability to analyze, making decisions going forward as well. Now, every business goes through an S curve. You start slow, you accelerate fast, and then you get to a point which is a plateau. Now, historically, you build another technology stack at the time of the plateau, and the S curve starts back again. And this is how the evolution of technology has happened. Now, in the world of AI, in the world of the automation that we are living in, this is not just good enough. And it is not good enough because, again, research indicates that organizations who are tech first will have 1.6 times more possibilities of not reaching to their goals. But if you redesign the entire automation and AI along with human capital, you have 2.5 times chance of accelerated success. So, what is human-centric manufacturing? It is when we combine vision with physical AI, and you get what is called human-centric. So it's not to replace, it is to augment. It is to really take it to the next level. Now, what does machine vision do? Vision provides you the sight. It gives you the most valuable data that you can take. This is then ingested by physical AI that takes it to the next level and allows you to perform judgment. One is intelligent data, second one is the judgment. You combine them together, you get to what we call human-centric manufacturing. I want to give 3 examples of how it really works on a factory floor today. Let's start with a shared workspace. Robots and humans working together. And today, they are caged. It's very clear delineation on where humans will work versus where robots work. How about that line is completely invisible? It's completely dynamic, and you have the flexibility for both of them to work together. And the only way for that to happen is when you have vision and AI working together to take it to the possibilities where nothing is a restriction. The second one is around cognitive offload, where again you take vision technologies, whether it's line scan, whether it's area scan, whether it's 3D technology, spatial AI, and you equip the operator not only to find out where the issue is, what the source of the issue is, but what are the practices that they need to do in order to address that. And finally, robots. They're already doing bin picking. They're already sorting. This is already happening. But what this allows us with 3D technologies and again with AI, we protect our wrists, we protect our back so that human careers are very well protected. All of this, same theme, vision, physical AI, and humans are not designed out. Everything is designed around the humans working in this particular space. Now, there's another hype that is going around, and you hear a lot of companies talking about humanoid having a capability like humans have. They are able to see like humans. What we will share with you is today with vision, you have supernatural capabilities in order to see what humans cannot even see. And that really comes with the technologies that are available. SWIR, for example, have the capability to see through surfaces. Hyperspectral SWIR have the ability to actually see the chemistry of the object. You go further up, polarization allows you to see the stress around things. And 3D gives you the depth that you want. All of these vision technologies truly available for humanoids to take it to the next level. So a little bit about Teledyne Vision Solutions and what we do. We are very fortunate as an organization who have a vertical integration of technologies that exist across the vision spectrum. Two, we have a global footprint, which is very important for scale in any organization. And finally, we have accumulated a lot of strong brands over a period of time with a lot of innovation. And these innovations really allow us to become first to the marketplace. And I want to share two very specific examples of automation that we have shared back in 2024 and 2025. Firstly, around Sidebase. This is a physics-based model for you to allow a camera, a lens, a lighting combination coming together. Without even buying any single equipment, you have the ability to design an entire vision solutions connected with physical AI to be able to capture information around design and cycle. We are doing this in hours and days and not in months and years. A great advantage of physics-based camera and lens simulation. Second one is around the hyperspectral SWIR that we launched earlier in the year. And what this really allows it across multiple industries, as you can see, whether recycling, whether packaging, whether food safety, it really allows you to see what human eyes are unable or incapable of seeing it. And you are able to get that rich, rich data that you can really drive your AI models going through as well. So three different ways where we can help out: the sensing technology, the camera technology, providing development tools that takes it to the next level, and the ability to scale as a global footprint. And this is where I would come and share where my original question was, where do we stand as Teledyne? So we are on that hourglass exactly where we started off, which Wayne has indicated. We are at the bottom where the value is getting created through our absolute sensing technology that is creating the technological moat. And we do exist at the very top of the pyramid through our SDKs, through our tooling that allows it to ingest into AI workflow. Now, one thing that often gets missed, a model of AI is commoditized. You have it, they have it, we have it. The real differentiation in automation will not be models, not be AI models. It will be the intelligent data, imaging data that you're accurately capturing. And that particular information will create a significant moat for any organizations going forward. So I want to end with three different challenges, and I will circle it back where I started it off from. So we talked about growth, technology, people. And this is where I want to share with all of you three different kind of challenges that we are uncovering and what are the possibilities in the landscape of manufacturing. The first one, the uncertainty index, one of the highest that we have ever seen. Now, whether it's trade related, whether it's geopolitical related, but as you might have noticed at the very start of the presentation, there was a comment about CEOs, where do they spend their time? And majority of them are spending about expanding their portfolio, getting into new markets, getting into new technology, while all of these pressure and uncertainties are there. Nobody gets successful by doing things by themselves. And the key takeaway here is to partner first. Partner first with the right organization in right markets, and they will really allow you to gain the scale in order to address the uncertainty and really allow you to grow forward. The second one is the AI potential is very, very obvious. But AI by itself as a tech forward will not yield the results because a lot of AI initiatives, 59% of them never see production. So what are the two very critical elements over here? The two critical elements is you gotta have an excellent imaging data set, which Vision provides you to see it from different perspectives. Secondly, it's around humans. How do you design system not by pushing a model to them, but really working around with them in order to enhance them? And finally, it is around AI readiness. Now, this is a very good map that Gartner put together, and it maps two different things. It maps the AI readiness on one axis, and it maps human readiness on the other axis. And whether we like it or not, but we are in the quad of skepticism. We are almost halfway on AI and a quarter way up on human readiness. This will not create progress. This will stall things. And how do you address that? You can see 87% of human workforce today want to adopt AI. At the same point in time, they're looking for their leadership for decisive action. The opportunity here is micro-learning, allowing them to learn small concepts that they can adapt on a day-to-day basis. So, to sum it together, what does future look like? A factory of future will look like having a capability that it can reconfigure itself for a new product overnight. A factory of future will also be the one where robots can undertake new tasks by just following a language, which is not structured, simple instruction that is going to take place. Inspection will never ever blink because the vision in AI would really allow you to get the best inspection and empower the operators at the factory floor. And this is not to get rid of people. People are elevated and people do exactly what they do very well. So they supervise, they decide and create. And we just create an economical stability as well as growth for our people.